Hi everyone, it's Rita from Miss Rita to the Rescue. How are you today? We are doing iron-on crafts today in my studio. We are especially focusing on a couple of specialty iron-on products, and that includes the glitter iron-on, and there's also foil iron-on. And I also wanted to talk a little bit about a brand new product called Cricut Express iron-on. I just received a couple rolls of that in the post, and I wanted to just give you my first initial feedback on it, although I haven't tested it for today's video yet. So let's get started. Okay, so I mentioned the other day that I was going to try, I was using this glitter iron-on that we got in the mystery box, and I was kind of thinking, oh, what can I use that's Halloween-y? And I thought the purple looked really kind of cool. And I thought, well, you know, you don't just need to be focusing on t-shirts. Iron-on goes on so many things, and I wanted to point you to the heat press guide, because the heat press guide really gives you this whole list of all the different kinds of fabrics and bases that that you can use iron on, and it tells you the differing temperatures. Cricut glitter iron-on, which this is what this is, it goes on at 330 degrees for 30 seconds. I have to say, to weed this, it's a little bit of a difficulty, and so when I weed it, I kind of roll it along on the opposite side and pick it up, and then I'll use my weeding tool to weed it. But aside from that, this goes on like a dream. Really don't have to worry about this at all. You do the 330 degrees with your heat press, which I have here. And it comes off like fabulous. And what I did with this was this is an image that came from the holiday digital mystery box from last week, which by the way is still available, and I'm going to put the link in the description of this video. And then the glitter vinyl that's on here is from the mystery box of this week, the Spooktacular mystery box, which I think is still available. And my kid loves to go trick-or-treating. He's a teenager now, so this is a great solution for those, you know, little tiny pumpkins, or, you know, some kids, when they're teenagers, it's all about the candy. So I took an old pillowcase and put this on the pillowcase, so now he can go trick-or-treating, and it's actually a king-size pillowcase, so he can go trick-or-treating, and he doesn't have to just bring an old pillowcase with him that's not decorated, or a too small container that he has to come back and empty out his loot. This is everyday iron-on. I don't need to go over this with you, but this is something that I did for my son's skills trainer. This image I got online. I'm trying to remember where I got it, but I just thought it was really kind of fun, and I like the black with the lettering. Now, next up, and this is the one that I'm going to demonstrate, is this foil. Let's see if you can see that. It says trick or treat yourself. It's from, actually, there's a program on TV, you maybe have seen it, it's called Parks and Recreation, and two of the characters have this one day a year, and I think it's in October, like October 22nd or something, or 21st something, and which would have been this week, and it's called Treat Yourself, Treat Yourself. So I thought this image, which I think came from Leah Griffith, Trick or Treat Yourself, was kind of a fun play on the Parks and Recreation, and then also on trick-or-treating. And frankly, I'm a little too old for costumes, but I'll wear this because I just think it's fun. Foil, that's what this is. It's foil, okay? Foil needs to be on a lower temperature. The temperature, according to the heat guide, is 295, and it's still going to be for 30 seconds. Remember, the same rules apply for using your heat guide, and that is that you do need to warm up your base material, your substrate, if that's what we're going to call it, or the base, or in this case it's a t-shirt that I had lying around. Actually has a lot of corgi hair on it. I apologize for that if you can see that, but you want to heat up the area that's going to be taking the iron on, and you know, I'm not timing it because it's really not necessary to time it. Just kind of give it a little heat, and it helps for adhering. You do not need to, I'm just kind of placing this, see if it's exactly the way I want it, but you do not need to cover, because cover up with like a Teflon sheet or even butcher paper, which is what you do with the Infusible ink. But for this kind of iron-on, you don't need that because it has this plastic material. And just so that you know, the way that you cut this out is you're going to put it onto your mat, and you're going to put the shiny side onto the mat. You're going to mirror your image, and then you cut it out. And then when you are done cutting it out, then you can weed it. I save all these little extra pieces from what is left over, but you weed the image. See, it's backwards, and then when you go to adhere it, here's the plastic is kind of a protective coating that goes between your iron or your heat press and the actual material so that it will stick. I hope it's still warm because I'm talking too much. Okay, so I've set this for $2.95. I don't know if you can see that, but $2.95 for the 30 seconds. And when you're using non-infusible ink transfer, well, it's actually not a transfer sheet. When you're using the regular everyday iron-on, foil iron-on, whatever, you don't have to worry about moving the machine around. You can move it. With Infusible ink, you do need to keep it steady, and that's because there's no gas that's being formed like that the heat is making. Right? It's really, you're just transferring it through the heat. And you don't need to press it down all together too hard, but it's a lower temperature for foil, and it does need to cool a little bit in order for it to remove okay. Now, when I'm removing oh my gosh, all this hair. But when I'm removing iron-on, I do it really gently, slowly. The glitter is an exception. It comes like right off. But when I'm using anything other than the glitter iron-on, what I do is I like roll it, and sometimes I'll even hold the background, you know, the shirt, I'll hold it. So I just do that. I don't know, because sometimes you'll see like a little bit of it will lift a little bit, and that's not good. So I'm in favor of going slow with it, and then I roll it off, and that is it. I'm done. Now I have a few hairs in here. I'm gonna tell you my little secret about that. I live with corgis, and they are hairy. They're so hairy. That's actually the only bad thing about a corgi, is their hair. So I'm constantly dealing with the hair, and sometimes when I'm doing iron-on, it can be really frustrating because the hairs that even I didn't see get stuck in there. So I use my True Control knife, and I have a hair like I do here. I use my True Control knife and go through and just cut the hair off. Oh, I don't know. The things we do for our pets, right? Hey, listen, don't forget, and I kind of almost always forget, but don't forget to do this part, which is I turn the shirt or whatever I'm making, I turn it over and I give it a press on the inside or the outside, or what do you call that? The inside of the shirt, just to kind of get it to stick. You don't have to do it for the full 30 seconds. I just think it's kind of a good measuring, but I don't think you have to do it 30 seconds. But that's it. That's how easily a shirt for Halloween. So if you're not a costumey person like me, you can easily make a shirt like this really quick, maybe even the night of Halloween, and kind of get your trick-or-treat on, or be ready for those trick-or-treaters that are going to be coming to your door. So pretty and definitely classy. I think that those folks over at Parks and Rec would approve of how glitzy and glamorous this gold looks. Okay, so one other thing that I want to point out is that Cricut has just come out with this brand new product. It's called Express Iron-On. I got a couple rolls. I got a couple sampler rolls in the mail today from the folks over at Cricut. This one's called the Elegance Sampler, and it has black, white, and red, which those are the three main, I think those are the three colors that everybody uses. And then this one I got was called the Classic Sampler, and that includes silver, gold, and black. And they're 12 by 12. No, I'm sorry, 11.8 inches by 12. Don't ask me, I don't know why it says 11.8 inches. But one of the things that I'm going to point out here is it says up to 2 times faster. Now, when you're going to do this, and I'm just starting to play with it, so I can't give you all the details, but I would recommend that you check the heat guide for making sure that you're using the correct setting for the heat guide, because even though it's 2 times faster, there might be a special guide. I don't even know. I'm gonna have to look that up. But one thing in my first, I figured, oh, I'll just cut something really quickly, which is what this is, and I'll show you. But I chose the Everyday Iron-On cut setting, and look at what happened. Oh no. I have reported back to Cricut folks. It's cut all the way through. We don't want it to cut all the way through because it will make, it's not impossible. This isn't a totally lost project, but it's difficult because what you'll see is, you know, I'm gonna take it off my mat, and stuff is gonna stay behind, it seems, because it cut all the way through. But it's not entirely lost. If you're patient and you just kind of work with it, don't feel like, you know, if you did buy this and you cut it wrong like I did because I was in a hurry, you can still make use of it. First of all, I only used this small piece, so if I wanted to scrap this whole thing and just use this part, I could do that too. But if I'm patient with it, which I'll do off camera, I could probably make it work. But so when you're cutting with the Express, until I can come back and give you other details about it, and maybe it'll have its own cut setting, I'm not sure, but do put it on a less pressure setting, which you can do by choosing, you know, on the screen where you're setting materials, you can choose more or less for your needle pressure. And that's what I'm going to do when I go back to cut this again, is I'm going to cut it with less pressure. And then if I find out more from the Cricut folks, I'll let you know right away. So that is a couple of fun and easy iron-on projects for Halloween. This one using the wonderful glitter iron-on that we got in the mystery box this week, and then also this image. I think it's Alexis Maddox is the name of the artist. It's really kind of fun. It has all the different trick-or-treating type of things, and that came with the digital mystery box. So those are two things that you might want to take advantage of, because they are still available as of this taping. So that's sort of it. That's kind of fun iron-on for Halloween. So that's it. Those are Halloween iron-on projects for you to try, whether it's glitter or regular or everyday iron-on is called, or even foil iron-on, trick or treat yourself. These are fun projects. They go together very quickly with the help of Cricut EasyPress. It could be a Cricut machine that, like the Explorer or the Maker, any kind of Explorer machine. And also, if you don't have an EasyPress yet, it's okay. You can still use your iron to make this product adhere correctly to your substrate, to your t-shirt or your pillowcase or whatever the case may be. So don't despair if you haven't yet gotten your EasyPress, or if it's on your Christmas list this year. Don't worry about it. You can still do some pretty fun projects before Christmas, before you get them under your Christmas tree. Thanks so much for coming today. My name is Rita, and this is my YouTube channel, Miss Rita to the Rescue. I would encourage you to subscribe to my channel. We have a lot of great videos and a whole lot more coming up too. So I don't want you to miss a thing. Please subscribe, and also while you're subscribing, make sure you enter my giveaway, which is going to be ending very, very soon. Actually, I think it's Monday, I think it closes, and we're giving away Cricut EasyPress Minis, the little ones, which, by the way, would work very well with this kind of a project, as well as the EasyPress. So we're giving away that and a box of transfer sheets for the new Infusible Ink, something that we will go over again in the near future. But the EasyPress works for both Infusible Ink and for the regular iron-on. These products are made to work in conjunction, like it's not replacing one or the other. It's just another product in your arsenal for good crafting. Thanks so much for coming today. Hope you make it a very crafty day.